Good morning, class 8, and a warm welcome. Now, yes, Meghavini?
Ma'am, about the last day's test, when will we get the marks?
Which one? The map pointing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I'm checking all your works in a mix and match way. I know class 8's works are pending. Means I was doing 6 and 7 a little quickly, and then yours one got piled up. I'll do it. I've already started replying.
Ma'am, you said that we cannot write hills, Nilgiri hills.
No, only Nilgiri. I mean only Nilgiri Hills, not Annamalai. This is two things that I will tell you. There are two things is that I was, or whatever I have checked. 2 points. One is for Chota Nagpur, I am accepting both spellings. CHHO is also correct and CHO is also correct. So I am accepting both the spellings. Next is Mount, that one is Mount K2, Mount Godwin Austen. You can write anyone, you are getting full marks. But if you write both, and even in one of them there is a spelling error, I'm deducting marks. I'm being very precise while marking. And Chota Nagpur, this is one word. So one word should be one word. Aravali is LLI. So that is another thing that a few people are losing marks. And Nilgiri and Annamalai, they are S is only Nilgiri Hills. Means
Annamalai is the highest.
Annamalai is located further south. Nilgiri and Annamalai Hills both are part of the Western Ghats. Okay, but Nilgiri is on the top, just on the bend of the Kaveri is the Nilgiri, and Annamalai is further south. Annamalai is further located south. So only Nilgiri will be the answer. Means Nilgiri Hills.
Ma'am, in our book it was given Annamalai and Nilgiri Hills, and there was some kind of a point like that. So I thought that
it was a point. No, Nilgiri is Annamalai is further south. Annamalai is located almost towards the south. Yes, Bhanupriya?
Ma'am, when can I give the map test?
Oh, you missed the map test, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see, because I have already uploaded the
Annamalai or Anaimalai?
Anaimalai Hills, yes. Anaimalai and Anaimudi.
No, ma'am.
Right, yes.
Annamalai and Anaimudi.
Anaimudi. And don't write, because it's not a peak. So if you write, it will only be, the answer will be only Nilgiri Hills. That is why. So it is located further down south. That is the main difference. One more thing. So I said Chota Nagpur, both answers are accepted. One more thing that I was thinking about telling you. No, other things are more or less fine. Others are more or less fine. Oh, for Brahmaputra, this is something, as I said, that you have to write the Indian name. I'm expecting all of you that you will write Brahmaputra. Some can write Sangpo.
Also, ma'am, for all of the rivers, we needed to write river after the name of the river, no?
If you don't write, I'm not deducting any marks, but it is always expected you write river this, since you are identifying, or R dot something. So it's best if you write. For mountain, writing MT is actually important. Either you write Mount, MOUNT, or you write MT dot and then name it. And you have to be very specific about spellings. You cannot, only for Chota Nagpur, as I said, both spellings are fine. So CHH is also okay, CH is also okay. So both spellings you will find in different books, different spellings given. And for Brahmaputra, writing Sangpo and all will not, might deduct half mark, because I want the Indian name. That is one thing. Otherwise, more or less map pointing, so till now I'm seeing it's fine. It's going okay. Oh, another thing, there quite a few have written Gulf of Mannar instead of
Also, ma'am.
I'll tell you.
Also, ma'am, was it Konkan coast for I, or was it the Eastern Ghats?
Eastern Ghats. The Ghats.
Okay.
It was pointing to the Ghats. Absolutely.
Okay, ma'am. No, because it was
The Gulf of Mannar was a bit confusing.
I don't know if you all can see my map. I wanted to show this. So here, so the teardrop of India, this is Sri Lanka over here. I colored the full part. That is why I was telling you, see the coloring. When I'm coloring the full part, it's the straight that is separating the two. Gulf of Mannar is a very small part. Here, if you look at India's map, here there is a bend like this. Okay, and then you have Sri Lanka. So only this bend, when you color only this much, only this bend, then that is Gulf of Mannar. But when I'm coloring both, that is why you will see I have spread the color out. I have spread it out so that you know that it is the full straight itself. Understood why I'm not taking Gulf of Mannar? Gulf of Mannar is a small area, small bend like this that comes at the end of India. So only when you color this, Gulf is, what is a Gulf? Gulf is a land when any water body is surrounded by land on all sides in this kind of a circular manner. It has one small opening and there is land on one side in this circular manner. And when you, what do you call as a bay? I hope you can hear me.
Clearly.
Yes.
Right? And when
Yes, ma'am.
the land is surrounding, in a more wider way, when the mouth is wide, then you call it a bay. When the mouth is wide, you call it a bay. And if the mouth is narrow, like this, you have a narrow opening mouth, you call it a gulf. That is the main difference between a bay and a gulf. So on all sides there is land and there is one side that should connect it with any other water body or any other ocean or sea, something like that.
And by the way, Gulf of Mannar is in Sri Lanka. It's not in India.
No, Gulf of Mannar is a part of India.
Is it? It's in Sri Lanka.
No, Gulf of Mannar is a gulf that is separating, it's in the Park Strait, the lower part, the small region. India has in the southern part. You will do this when you do class 10, 1 minute. If you can hold on, maybe I can show you one map. I was having one which I was teaching my student. 1 minute, hold on a minute, okay. Is Gulf of Mannar there? Yes. Can you see where is Gulf of Mannar? So this part of India, if you look carefully, this part of India is just a bend. So this is the Gulf of Mannar. Understood? And the entire stretch is the Park Strait. Okay, so this is one thing that I would like to mention once again. One more thing I would like to discuss with you all, the question paper of the answer key of last test, so that when I check now, since I'm doing class 8 now, quickly, and I will try to, oh no, I closed it. Okay, no, this one. So I would like to tell you also that I can, tell you just check this answer or check that answer. Very simply, you all can ask me questions if you have now. Okay, first question was, bring out the similarity and a difference between the equatorial pressure belt and the subpolar pressure belt. Okay, what is the similarity, children?
Both are low pressure.
Firstly, both are low pressure.
Both are low pressure belts. So that is the similarity. Now the difference is, one is located near the equator, one is located near the poles. Yes. Along with that, if you mention the latitudes, that is the best. That is the best. Another difference can also be why it is formed or how the low pressure is formed. You can always make that as another point of difference. Like
Mom, using the pressure, can we also include wind? Like the equatorial pressure belt doesn't have enough wind, whereas the subpolar belt always has a constant flow of upward flow of
Yes,
would
ma'am,
that-
I also wrote that.
flow of current. See, all the pressure belts more or less has an upward flow. Horizontal movement is less. Remember this. So this point.
Okay, ma'am, that word should
it
be
will-
there. That key word.
it
Okay,
will-
ma'am.
Two winds are
Uh-huh.
meeting and always they're going up. That is why you can either make it the location can be a difference. The reason of formation can also be a difference. That is why I have, it is mentioned other relevant points will also be accepted. Yes, Meghavini?
Ma'am, I was telling that I wrote there was in the equatorial belt there is no movement of wind, and in the subpolar belt there is movement of wind.
No, in the subpolar belt also very less movement of wind is there, because all these pressure belt regions, either air is going up or it is coming down. So it is not strong windy regions. They are not strongly windy regions. Remember this. Okay, so full marks I cannot give it, but definitely half marks I can, because for the equatorial belt you are correct. It is a place where it's a belt of calm. Okay, so you can make it your point of difference as per your convenience. So if this is one, the location is the difference that we have written, you can write about the reason behind formation as well. Next is the Narmada and the Godavari both flow through the peninsular plateau region of India. How is the flow of Narmada different from Godavari? So you start with a small introduction. Like I say, any way you frame the introduction, it's all right. Now there are many reasons that you can write. So we wanted to see how you frame it. One is it originates in the Deccan Plateau and flows westward. So if you write just it flows westward towards the Arabian Sea, that is also okay. Even if you don't mention it originates in the Deccan Plateau, then also you will get full marks that it flows through the Deccan Plateau region towards the west in the Arabian Sea. And Godavari also you can write that it flows towards the east, towards the Bay of Bengal. You can make this as a separate point as well. If somebody writes that Narmada has its mouth in the Arabian Sea and Godavari has its mouth in the Bay of Bengal, then also I'll give you full marks. All right. Next can be Narmada river flows through a rift valley between the Vindhyas and the Satpuras, or two block mountains, Vindhyas and Satpuras. Here you can write that Godavari cuts a river valley. It doesn't flow through a rift valley. It is a normal U-shaped, now from V to U as the shape changes. It cuts through the Deccan Plateau, forming a broad valley, not a rift valley, and meets the Bay of Bengal. So that is one thing. You can write that it flows through a rift valley region. It does not flow through any rift valley region. It just flows through a plateau region, forming a river valley. You can frame it again in your own words. So this was of 2 marks. Any 2 points, any two things will be accepted. And thirdly, this is another point, it forms this, I don't know if you know this, but the river forms delta in its mouth, the Godavari, while Narmada, it forms estuaries. It does not form delta because it does not have enough sediments. So I've included this point because if you know this, if you write this, this is also correct. All right. So you can, divide this point into 2 as well. Whatever way, if you write that it has its mouth in Bay of Bengal and it flows eastward, westward, this eastward, westward should be 1 point. So technically to teach you, we have made it 1 point. And one flows through a rift valley, one does not flow through a rift valley is the other point that we are expecting. And this is another point of difference, which is valid, which is, I don't think is there in your book, but for your knowledge, I have included it. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so I will check the answer and I will mark accordingly. Any 2 point of difference, and I have mentioned you can frame the points in your own way as well. As long as the difference is correct, it will be accepted. Okay, the horse latitudes and doldrums both are belts of calm. Justify. So this was the main thing. So the doldrums and horse latitudes are both belts of calm. You have to give 2 paragraphs or 2 points, or even if you are writing in 1 point, you have to specifically mention why doldrums is a belt of calm, why horse latitude is a belt of calm. You will have to mention for both. You cannot give a common reason. So if you are giving a common reason, marks will be deducted accordingly because we need both the answers. You have to reason out for both. Okay. So always writing in points, as I say, is better. Doldrums are areas of very high temperature leading to rising convection, rising air, rising convection current, and there is no horizontal movement of air. Thus, belt of calm, doldrum. Okay, and horse latitudes is a place of sinking air. The current is sinking here. The air mass is coming down. Hence, it's also a a region of very less horizontal movement of air, or stable weather condition, or calm weather condition, whatever you write. Hence, it is, this is also a belt of calm. So for both doldrum, one is rising, horse latitudes, air is sinking, both has to be mentioned to get full marks. If you just write because in both the regions there is no movement of air, you will not get full marks. Why there is no movement of air in each region, you have to mention this. You have to justify for horse latitudes also, justify for doldrums also. Clear?
And so we cannot write that in these two regions. We cannot do that. Like-
You cannot write like this. That means you will not get full marks if you write like this, that horse latitudes and doldrums are both belts of calm, because in both the regions there is no horizontal movement of air. If you write this much, this is an incomplete answer. So I will give you maybe 1 or 2. Here in this case, you will get, because reason is correct. In both the regions, there is no horizontal movement of wind. Hence, they are belts of calm. But you have to mention why for each of the region. That is why 1 mark for each. So you have to mention that in doldrums, the air is rising, or this is an equatorial low pressure where air is rising, and in horse latitudes, air is sinking. One air rising, one air sinking. Hence, in these two regions, there is no horizontal movement of air, but upward and downward movement of air. However you frame it, that is why both belts of calm. So you have to justify for both. Okay, so
like in the first point, I wrote it 2 points. In the first point, I wrote that there is very less movement of air, and the second point I wrote why, like there is warm winds rise and cold winds sink. In the second
then
point,
it's more or less fine. Then it's more or less fine. So, that is why I have underlined the key areas. See, one is rising currents, absence of horizontal, one is sinking air means air masses, so stable weather.
Just a question for the Narmada and Godavari one's question. For that one, I had written in paragraph format. Would that work? Like the points were there, just the
At least, let's see, if you have written a big paragraph, maybe so at least 2 things should clearly come out. Then I will see.
yes, ma'am. The
When it
explanation
is
is
2
there.
marks
Yes, ma'am.
and a
That is why I
point,
wrote in paragraph.
try to divide it into points, because
Yes,
in
ma'am. I
boards
missed your
they
question. Yes,
see, in boards they see whether you have written 2 points or not. If it's for 2 marks, they always try to see if there are 2 points or not. So always be on the safe side, and for 2 marks, always take it as 2 points. But maybe if it is clear, maybe I'll see to it when I check the paper. Okay. Okay. Next is, how can you relate insolation with the permanent pressure belts formed at the polar regions? So there are 2 poles, North Pole and South Pole. These 2 regions receives the most less or least amount of insolation or incoming solar radiation or rays from the sun, whatever you write. So they receive the very slanting rays, they receive the least amount of insolation. Hence they are very cold. Thus cold air being heavy, it sinks down, and the polar pressure belt is cold air is heavier and denser, which leads to the formation of high pressure in this region. Clear? So 2 things that you have to mention, that it receives the least amount of insolation. Cold air is heavier and denser, so means it sinks. You can mention, then hence the air sinks, it is heavier, it sinks, it comes down, and you have to mention. That is why in the question, if you see, it is not given what type of a pressure belt is there in the polar regions. So we need you to get full marks. You have to mention this, that is why in the polar region, high pressure is created. If you don't mention that in the polar region high pressure is created, half mark will be deducted. Okay, so it's like half for least amount of insolation, half for it is a very cold region, half for cold air being heavier and dense, means it is heavy and dense and it sinks. So it's heavy and dense. Even if you write it's heavy, then that automatically says that then it will come down. So half mark for this. And lastly, half to mention that hence high pressure is created in this region. That is why if you see in the question what type of pressure belt it is not mentioned. So if you don't write that, otherwise full 2 will not be given. And lastly, what are the 3 ranges of the Himalayas? This, so you know, any one you write, it's all right. You can write Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Outer Himalayas, Himadri, Himachal, Shivalik, Inner, Middle, Shivalik, whatever you write. So as long as the spelling and all the, if you start it with a small letter, I will deduct half mark. And lastly, you know, the northernmost latitude of India is 37 degrees 6 minutes. Either of the symbol is not there, I will deduct. I'll give a 0. Last test also I was telling this. Many of you not giving the minute symbol. Why? Degree, minutes, these are very important. Okay, so now going to class 9, don't make these mistakes. So this answer key I discussed with you. Now I'll, you know, as I go on checking, I'll go on replying to you all. One more thing. Okay, no, this is all right. Any questions from this answer key that you want to discuss? It's all right?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Is it all right? Okay, okay, fine. So then it is done. So this part is done. Now, before we close for the winter break, I'm telling you now only, you will have one Vicon test, which will be application based from this chapter, wind and pressure belts full in your, you know, before the school closes for winter break in Vicon, and it will be application based, and after school reopens, then maybe on this full chapter, you people will have, or maybe this chapter and India's only climate. We will focus mainly on India's climate. You will have a written assessment that will be taken. So by then we will have a more clearer picture whether you are having your summatives or what is the thing. So more or less we want to cover up some enough amount of marks before we close for the winter break. Hence, you are going to have one Vicon test. You have had 2 written tests. You have done one project based activity. You have done it on what? Oh, you have done the video, yes, on the pressure belt. So this Vicon test you will have. Yes, Adrija?
Ma'am, will you upload the answer key on Vicon?
Yes, right after the class. I'll upload it right after the class. I've uploaded the map one. I'll upload this right after the class. Okay, so land breeze. Yes, Meghavini?
Ma'am, when is the geography Vicon test?
Tentatively last week before the school closes.
Ma'am,
Okay,
could you
ma'am.
please tell if you have received my work, because like I mailed it to you 1 week ago, but you didn't
Yeah, more or
reply.
less I have, and I'm going
Oh.
on. So more or less I have, sorry, I opened something else while checking the calendar. School is closing on 23rd. So 23rd is a Thursday. I intend to take, I'm not on the last day, but the last before. So you can take 21st of December to be your test date, which will be a Vicon test of at least 15 to 20 marks, application based questions from this chapter full. So next week I will teach you cyclones, and then it will be more or less done. Now,
Ma'am, could you repeat the topic for the Vicon test?
This chapter, this study material, that is wind and pressure belts.
Okay,
Only
ma'am.
this. Wind and pressure belts, full chapter. Okay, wind and pressure belts, full chapter. So you focus on this till now. So wind and pressure belts, Vicon test, application based questions that will be given. Tentative, you know, let us keep it on 21st, not on the last date. 23rd we will not keep it, 21st of December. Okay. So land breeze, sea breeze. Any question?
No, ma'am.
No question. Again, simply, it all depends on temperature. Land becomes heated quickly. Water becomes, you know, water takes time to get heated. Land gets cooled quickly. It gives out terrestrial radiation. It becomes cool quickly. Water can hold on to the heat for longer and cools down slowly. So during the daytime, what happens? Land is quickly heated. Hot temperature, air becomes lighter, there is less density. So, you know, air becomes lighter and rises. So wind is blowing from sea to land because sea has high pressure, air has low pressure. Opposite thing happening at night when land is becoming cool quickly. So high pressure on land, water bodies can hold on to that heat for longer. So low pressure on water bodies. So land breeze is blowing at night. This is clear? Absolutely, there is no confusion on this. Now, a type of land breeze and sea breeze is the monsoon winds. Like you have the land breeze and the sea breeze, monsoon winds are also a more severe, bigger form of land breeze and sea breeze only. But what is the difference between monsoons and land breeze and sea breeze is that land breeze and sea breeze, these are called, all these winds, land breeze, sea breeze, valley breeze, mountain breeze, and monsoon winds, they are called periodic. Before this, we did permanent. Permanent means those winds blow throughout the year in the same direction, in the same way. But periodic winds, they reverse or change their direction with time. The difference between land breeze and monsoon, land breeze, sea breeze and monsoons is that land breeze, sea breeze changes their direction within one day. During the day, one direction, during the night, one direction. Monsoon winds, monsoons is a very typical wind that is mainly dominating the Indian Sea, Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea region. It comes from the Indian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and you have Myanmar, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and then here you have the islands. Island groups means the Indonesia, Thailand, you have it this side. So Indonesia, Thailand, all these these areas, it affects. Monsoons change their path every 6 months. So they have a period of, more or less 5 to 6 months. They blows from sea to land, and again next 5 to 6 months, they blow from land to sea. So the time span between monsoons and land breeze and sea breeze is just, more. Okay, so this is the main difference. Now, what happens? Again, simple thing you can relate with why land breeze and sea breeze. During summer season in the northern hemisphere, since monsoon affects India most and the Indian subcontinent region, so during the summer season, what is happening is that you have only 1 minute left. Maybe I will not be able to explain a lot here. Just know this, from India's middle part, which latitude is passing? North. And from the Indian Ocean part, let me draw it a little bit more up. I will just explain this next day. From the Indian Ocean part, you have the 0 degree latitude passing. Okay, so in the Indian Ocean, now, during the summer season, land becomes very hot because the sun is giving direct rays on the Tropic of Cancer. The sun is giving direct rays on the Tropic of Cancer. Now, around this part, there should have been the subtropical high pressure belt. But because of so much heat received, what happens is this subtropical high pressure belt moves to the northern part of India. Okay, it moves further north of India towards the plateau of Tibet region. Okay, I'll continue this next day. Otherwise, you people will not.
Let me explain this last class.
Yeah, can you all rejoin for 5 minutes?
And I was saying that you have already explained this in the last class.
I wanted to explain something. Can you rejoin since I have the diagram?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Join back. I'll tell you something and then.